Bing drop?
What?
You may be having performance issues.
Hey, I'm just bashful. Sorry. Welcome to Zero Fox CNG Couch Talks. Discuss things and have fun time.
I think we are having performance issues.
It's late.
So yes, Zero Fox Coffee and Games. Today we wanted to talk about something that I stumbled across in the news today, which was I found very exciting personally. So Mike Morhiem, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. He's one of the co-founders of Blizzard Entertainment, and we are all familiar with Blizzard and the saga that is Blizzard, so we won't talk about that as much. Has found a new game studio called Dream Haven, and with two sub-studios, Moonshot and Secret Door. A lot of cool, interesting things in the article I read with the interview from, who did it? Venture Beats? Gamer Beats? Dean Taka, whoa, is she? Wow.
Close enough. Will not be the last name we butcher tonight.
Or ever, for the record. But it's really exciting. He's opening up with his wife, Amy Morhiem, and they're funding the entire project currently out of their pocket. So that means they're not going to be beholden to, another company like EA or Activision. For
example, yeah.
Just
don't know where that example came from.
Shareholders. It's not going to be all about making profit.
Yeah. They're actually pulled up their homepage and the About Us bit, because I think that's cool. What they believe shared values, purpose, and trust are required to create an environment that cultivates creativity and innovation, which honestly sounds like Blizzard 20 years ago. So
Blizzard in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. When I read about this, I was really excited, but I was also kind of scared because, I'm sure he still has tons of ideas and tons of creativity, but, what if he can't find the spark and the magic to make some really great games? Because I'm excited to see what comes out of these studios. Do you have anything you'd like to share?
I think this is hilarious.
Yes.
I think the first thing they should do is they should go to Games Workshop and say, don't make the same mistake again. We have Blizzard devs. Please let us make a Warhammer game.
Yeah. For real, though. Let's turn the gain up just a tiny bit.
Okay.
Mike Plant.
Alright. Hopefully, we'll see. Anyway, continue.
But yeah, basically, I pulled 3 quotes, and I won't give them verbatim, but maybe we can dump them in the description or on the screen. But first thing is they want to create something that's friendly to creators and focuses on the quality of the product and not short-term profit. Second, they don't want any outside money because they want to stay in control of the company. And then third, they don't want to oversize, which is less of a point, but that's also something that happened. There was this, almost 2-year content drought in WoW because they just brought on a whole bunch of new people and then realized, we have to train all these new people.
Yeah.
Because integrating and slowly phasing out the people that are leaving so that the people coming in could actually, pick up where it was left off.
Well,
that's
also
so much work. We just got to get rid of, bring them back in, and then,
Well, also it takes time for the programmers to learn the unique databases and quirks of the code and stuff like that. Because every coding project, I don't know how many people out there have done code, but every coding project seems to always just have its own weird quirk somewhere that just it works. Why it works?
You don't have to know. It just has to work.
Yeah. But navigating those can be a hot challenge. But there's a lot of cool people they've managed to pull over to the studio. A lot of ex-Blizzard execs or workers, and also, from what I can tell, some relatively recent ones. So we'll let Rye Guy, if you would like to use this as your reference, talk about that.
6 lines talk about the people.
Oh.
I mean, you can just paraphrase so you can...
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're just pulling a lot of people that had left the company in previous years due to some of the people in here actually talked about why they left, and a lot of them seem like they're trying to be polite and not just outspokenly bash Blizzard, while at the same time they kind of allude to like it just was going in a different direction and they wanted to step back. But some of these people, one of the directors at Moonshot, Thompson, was actually a big part of like the WoW trading card game, some D&D trading card game, Magic the Gathering.
Oh no, he was just an art director for Dungeons and Dragons.
Sorry.
Yeah. I
Anyways.
assume 5e? I don't know. It didn't say, so I'm going to assume 5e.
But it looks like some of the games that these developers have worked on their resumes are really brand name games. I'm tired. Hi, how are you doing? StarCraft. I may have walked like at least 12 miles. Something like
fair enough.
32,000 steps already. So
that's probably
sleepy. Not enough coffee after like 3 cups. But anyways, it seems like they're trying to do this correctly, and I really appreciate as a gamer the fact that they want to start it small, keep it small, it seems like, and really focus on the quality as opposed to just how much money are we going to make. And that's kind of what I'm most excited for, having read this article, is that they're not trying to find outside sources for money, and that they kind of want to just work with what they have, get it done right, and then keep it on the small side. The fact that they avidly talk about in one part of the article how they like the idea that they can keep all of the developers working on the game in one room and talk with them together, as opposed to having to talk with someone who talks to their team, who has to relay information all over the place, instead of just talking to the people that are actually making the game, because all of them are in one room together. Size.
So that's kind of the cool thing that this approach that Mike and Amy are doing, right? So this is the first time I've noticed / seen this, where a new studio opens 2 sub-studios and then assigns those studios projects, and then just kind of oversees those studios. Obviously, it's kind of what Activision does, but on a much larger scale. But this is the first time I've seen on a smaller studio size myself, and I think that concept could work phenomenally, because if Moonshot Studios comes out with a game that becomes really big and stuff like that, then that's just what they do now. And then you can found a new studio to start working on something else. Meanwhile, it's all under the one big brand name. So that could be interesting. I think that's a really fascinating approach, because then it allows you kind of tailor each studio to the size that it needs to be, rather than change the size like Blizzard currently. Just because I'm so familiar with how they've run things recently, they had a really large Diablo team back when Diablo first came out, and then they just slowly cut it down to where it was just basically 10 guys in a room, and then they stopped supporting Diablo, and it's basically down to like 4 people running the seasonal events and stuff, and like making minor tweaks here and there. So, and they've kind of done that same thing with some of the other games of theirs as well, but again, that's a different conversation. So right now, from my understanding, they have 27 employees, and I'm really excited to see what's going to come out of that studio, because there's so many cool, fun, interesting humans there, and a lot of the people that I grew up growing their games.
See?
Grew up playing their games, and I just had a phenomenal time with them. So I'm really excited to see what kind of magic they can produce. I'm also really scared for them, because what if it doesn't go anywhere?
Yeah.
I mean, worst case scenario, we're back at square one. Like, at least they're trying something. If it doesn't work, well, at least something was attempted.
Yeah. I'm also really interested to see what kinds of games they're going to make. Like, are they going to try to go to Warhammer again and be like, hey guys, you should let us make a game for you now, like you didn't like 40 years ago.
I don't think that's gonna be what happens, just because you would think that would be something they would announce if that was happening.
Yeah.
But like that would be the headline: is former Blizzard employees work on Warhammer game finally. But
I feel like if anything, those developers are going to be like, I don't want to continue working on something, whatever. They want to make something that is theirs, and so they can be like, this is our baby, this is our World of Warcraft.
Well, see, that's kind of what interests me, is because like World of Warcraft, StarCraft, the Viking Bros, all those games, these were Blizzard's babies, right? Like these are the people that started those games, like with Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2, 3, etc. And so I can't imagine that they obviously can't go back and remake Warcraft because it's not their IP, but they could remake, armies of goblins and humans or something, and so that could be interesting. They could also do. I'm just really intrigued to see what kind of worlds they're going to build and like what kind of games they're going to make, because it could also just be something new. Maybe they're going to make a shooter. Maybe they're finally going to resurrect the Ghost shooter project from StarCraft, but call it something else in a different world. There's so much that could be done, and I'm really intrigued to see what they're going to do.
Based on who the directors are, you've got a lot of, almost all of them have either Hearthstone or StarCraft 2 experience.
Yeah.
I think there's one person who doesn't and has StarCraft 1 experience or something, at least out of the directors. So it kind of seems like it's going to be a card game and an RTS, but that's obviously just guessing.
I was going to say, do you think this is going to be like a subscription-based game, such as some of the...
There's just no way.
Warcraft?
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see.
There's no way to know.
Because you're right, they could do one card crafty game, and then they could do one World of Warcraft subscription-y where they just add on expansions, or we could see a completed game itself, and then just have for example, the Halos, where it's Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo 3, where it's a completed game in each segment, and then you just buy the completed game. And
I think it'll probably be completed games, because it sounds to me like the primary studio is all about letting the creators build the games that they want to work on and want to make. I mean, obviously, once the studio's picked a project, that's what they're going to finish, theoretically. Mm-hmm. So I would imagine it being more integrated, semi-complete games. Now, who knows? One of the studios could be working on, an MMO. I don't necessarily see them coming out with the gate with an MMO, because MMOs there's so much overhead and so much cost in an MMO that unless it does at least well, you're just going to get screwed over. But I could definitely... It's
also not really the genre anymore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No. So you don't jump into it unless you have a franchise to put behind it.
Yeah.
A World of Warcraft style
RuneScape. I know there was a lot of talk at Blizzard for a long time of doing a more sci-fi oriented MMO. That's one of the things that Overwatch became Overwatch, from this sci-fi based MMO that they're working on. So maybe they'll resurrect that project. But who knows? Again, it's all guessing. Either way, obviously I'm excited because it's getting those juices and ideas flowing. So pretty stoked. I don't know. Do you guys have any other thoughts? You actually, before we started recording, had brought up an interesting point. I'm kind of interested as well to see what will happen to the current Blizzard staff.
Yeah, so because he took 2 years, we were briefly discussing when we had first heard about this article before we had full on read it. It sounded like the current executive left Blizzard, and I think it said 2018, if I remember correctly. So we're wondering if this whole, did he leave and then decide this, or what the whole
it says he left and they went on vacation for a year or so, because he was one of the co-founders of Blizzard. He could have done that basically forever. Yeah. And then at some point he was like, I want to start a game company again, so he did, was basically what they said.
Yeah, okay. But I'm more interested to see if they're still hiring at these 2 game studios or these 3 game studios, how many of their friends /
how many of the developers
people they're going to poach from various places.
Yeah, it'll be also really interesting to see if they can get away with that, because you have to imagine that they have some sort of contract saying you can't just immediately leave us and go work for a competing company.
I mean, I would say that that's probably true for like the higher ups, but as just a programmer or like just an art director or something, that's probably not
true.
The case.
But if you look at who they have on staff for these places, like, that are not like low-level developers at this point.
Also, can you even put that on a contract in California?
Yeah.
Ooh,
you probably can, but
okay. I mean,
as far as I know, though, that's not really a thing in the video game industry, unless you're dealing with like creative assets. As far as like programming is just programming, but once you start dealing with like the art and the creative assets, so you can't like leave, and you can't leave with like your folder of art that you've been working on for like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
You probably have to leave that folder behind, but like, it's still your art otherwise. So you go out and make new art, doing other things. So, because that would be a really stupid like thing to do. Because if I was just an artist, you're like, you know what, I'm done drawing for video games. I'm just gonna go be an artist on my own. Now I can't even publish my art for 2 years. Like,
I mean, fair, but you see very similar things with, like, let's say the music industry. Like, Katy Perry wasn't allowed to do anything. She wasn't even allowed to go sing new songs.
Yeah, the music industry is just all kinds of jacked up compared to everything else.
Yeah, the music industry is basically run by the mafia, effectively. Like, not literally.
That's its own video right there.
Yeah,
but anyways, it's kind of the similarity. Yeah. Because you do see things like that in other companies. It would be interesting to see if anything like that holds for the gaming industry.
Yeah.
Just because I honestly don't know anything about that. That's it. I'm sure that's its own world of law.
Yeah,
technical stuff.
As far as I'm aware, even Disney, you can quit and go somewhere else when you want.
Yeah,
it's pretty much only the music industry.
It's only the music industry.
Where are you gonna go? Disney owns it all.
I mean, yeah, but
including the music.
you go work on Magic. That's what you do.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's going to be it for the video. Unless we have anything else that you guys like to toss in there. No? Cool. Thanks for watching. I know it's been a while since we have gotten a video out. Hopefully we can be more steady with that. But check out some of our live streams. We stream most of the week, usually Sunday through Thursday.
Come join us for Party
to give full credit, so you can find the article, this recording was made on 23rd of September.
Yes.
Because we said today and we did not specify the date.
And I will link some of this information in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a magical day.